Hey guys, in this one we are going to make a chord progression in A minor scale. I'm so excited. Intro. At first I'm going to do a simple pad sounding massive. I'm going to create a simple chord progression. After that, I'm going to show you how to apply chord inversions to your chord progression so it sounds more pleasing. Right after that, we're just going to evaluate it a little bit more, evolve it. After that, we are going to work on it a little bit more so it sounds more full and more open, so it has more depth. So let's jump into Ableton and let me show you how it's done. Alright guys, welcome back to Ableton Live. And today we are going to write a chord progression in A minor scale, and I'm going to show you how to write music in key. Now let's just make a new sound, new pad sound, which we are going to use today. I'm going to use oscillator 1 on saw wave, oscillator 2 a square wave, and I'm also going to put in a sine wave. Put in everything to filter 1. I'm going to use a low pass filter on it. Make sure you turn the resonance all the way down. I want to apply a macro to filter cutoff. Somewhere around here. Let's just go to the voicing tab. Since this is a pad sound, I want to use a longer attack. Turn the decay level down a bit. And also the attack level down a bit. And I'm possibly going to use a longer release. Okay, let's add a reverb. Turn the drive down a bit. I'm going to add a delay sync as well. Move this to like 3, turn the dry and wet a bit up. Also I'm turning the damp up a bit, so in the delayed sound it won't have the higher frequencies. Cut the little off the higher frequencies and turn the feedback down a bit. So somewhere like this is okay. I'm going to add some white noise to it as well. I'm adding the macro control to it. And now let's just go into the voicing tab and turn the unison up to 4. Pitch cutoff on. We are going to detune it a bit. Actually, let's just set the white noise. Turn the master volume down a bit, and I think we are ready. I'm going to add a chorus to this as well. Somewhere around here. Alright, so let's just start to make an A minor chord progression. First, what are the notes of A minor? It starts with A, this is the tonic, and it uses all the white notes of the keyboard. So B, C, D, E, F, and G. If I put this in here, this is also like the tonic of the A minor diatonic scale is just an octave higher. So it would be the same if I just copy this over by holding Alt and moving this up. Also going to be only the white keys. So whatever note we play from these will be part of the A minor diatonic system. It means they are going to be in key. But if I play something like black note, it will be out of key. So it will be a chromatic note. This is not part of the A minor diatonic system. Now you can make a minor scale out of a note by using the root and count a whole step, semitone, a whole step, a whole step, a semitone, and another whole step, and another whole step. So that's how you create a minor scale. 2-step, 1-step, 2-step, 2-step, 1-step, 2-step, 2-step. That's the code for it. And the tonic note of the A minor scale is A, and we can put this between our MIDI. So if you check the MIDI file, we are having these notes here, and by moving it 1 square to the left, we're moving it out of the MIDI file. But we can see these notes, so we know which notes are part of our diatonic system. All right, so let's just put in an A minor chord. I use the tonic. And if you want to build a triad, you want to use the root note, the 3rd note of the scale, and the 5th note. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are not counting these black notes because they are not part of the diatonic scale of A minor. So this is an A minor chord. You know this because they're 2-step here and 3-step here. 2-step between the 1st and the 3rd note, and 3-step between the 3rd and the 5th note. If you want to make an A major chord, you want to put the C up 1 note. So the difference between a minor and the A major chord is the 3rd note. So the 3rd note defines the character of the chord. So A minor sounds like this, and the A major sounds like this. All right. 1st and the 5th note has a really close relation between each other. They sound, the character of them is pretty much the same. There's a little bit difference, but they are sounding the closest if you think any of these notes in the scale. And the 3rd note is defining the character of your triad. So you realize by just putting it up 1 note, it changes the whole character. A minor was more sorrowful and sad, while A major was more happy and joyful. So that's the difference between major chords and minor chords. Minor chords are pessimistic, while major chords are optimistic. Let's make a chord progression. I'm going to use an A minor chord, an E minor chord, which is the 5th note of it. So this is the root note. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me put these notes here so you can see it. Whoop. Just a second. Actually, let's just copy this 1 octave higher and 1 octave lower. So it's easy to see because we're using only the white notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's use D. This is the 1st note. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to use an A minor at the end. It sounds like this. I also want to turn the pan position on and put it in the stereo field somewhere here. Alright, so now let's talk about chord inversions. If you see this or this, it's also an E minor chord, but this is an inversion of it. What's an inversion? Let me just copy paste this 2 times to show you, to demonstrate it. So an inversion is a different structure of the chord, which is the same elements. So if I want to use the first inversion, I put the root note up an octave. If I want to do the second inversion, I grab the two bottom notes and I put them up an octave. It sounds like this. And now you can move them up an octave or down an octave to fit better in your context. Why you want to do that? Chord inversions often help the chord progressions to sound better. Let me show you right here. So if you do, by the way, if you do this, so you move the highest note down an octave, if you move the bottom notes up an octave and turn the whole thing down an octave, it's the same thing. So I'm making the second inversion, put it down an octave. I'm making the same thing over here. All right? And let's just listen to this. Very nice. Now this is something you can straight use in your own production, but we are going to develop it. The easiest way is to add the root note of the chords one octave lower. So this is an A minor chord and I'm adding an A. This is an E minor. By the way, if you change the structure, so if you use the inversion of the chord, the root note will stay the same. This is an E minor chord. This is a D minor chord, and this one is an A minor chord as well. What you could realize is that it's thicken up the bottom end, the low end of the chord. Let's just move forward. Let's add the seventh note to the same minor chord, because you can do that as well. Okay, so this is the seventh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And now you created an A minor seventh chord, which sounds like this. But you can move further. You can add more notes to it, like let's add the ninth. So now it's an A minor 7 added 9. Now it's not working so well with this E minor chord. So let's just add this B to it as well. Okay, I'm feeling like putting an A here and a G here. Let's just listen to this. All right, so it sounds nice. Why? It's because our chords are sharing the same notes, like in A minor. We are sharing the notes of B, G, and E. And the last one, we are only sharing the notes of A, but the whole thing is moving down, so it's predictable. That's why it's working. And also, if you check our highest notes, they are not doing crazy jumps. They are just moving a whole step down here and then another whole step here. But if we would use it here, it would not sound as pleasing. Actually, let's just listen to it. Alright, so the first one just sounded a lot better. It's because the highest notes are what our ears perceive as a melody. So if I would put a lead here and use these notes, it would work well definitely on those as well, because it would be easy for our ear to follow the melody. So this is something what you want to keep in mind when you're creating a chord progression on a melody, to not do crazy steps between the notes. Let's recap what we learned so far. So the A minor chord consists out of the white notes of the piano, using only the white notes, and the black notes are out of the scale. Those are the chromatic notes. The A minor is the tonic note, so this will give the name of our scale. You can create a triad by selecting a note of the scale, adding the third element of the scale, and also the fifth element of it. So that's how you create a triad. If you add a seventh note to a triad, it's going to be called 7, like A minor 7, 1, 3, 5, and 7. It's an A minor 7. If you add a ninth note to it, it's going to be called A minor 7 added 9. But if you like skip in the 7th note, it's not going to be called an A minor 9. It's going to be called an A minor added 9. So the 7th has a special name. Now also, you can use inversions, and at the first inversion, you move the bottom, so the tonic note, up an octave, or the bottom 2 notes up an octave. By the way, if you want this preset, what we just created, I put it in the description. You can download it and you can use it in your own production. In the beginning, I didn't know much about scales and modes. It took me years to find out that there are scales which you can use, that these are the notes which works well together. At the beginning, I was trying to find sounds which works well together, just relying on my ear, and it took a lot of time. I remember when I received my first remix request and a guy asked me if I want to have the MIDI files, and I didn't know what the MIDI files. I didn't want it to look stupid. I said, sure, I want the MIDI files. After analyzing these, I realized that there are certain sounds that works well together. For example, F and A works well together, but also C and A could work well together, or G and D, G, D, B. So I was taking notes, and when I started to produce my next music, I just looked on it and see, okay, G works well with D and D works well with B. The truth is I didn't really know what I'm doing. I just tried to make better music, but I didn't have the musical background. So music theory can help you a lot. And if you ask me what's the one thing I wish I knew earlier, it's this one. It's definitely this one. At first, this video may seem a bit lot. Go repeat it and try to do it with me. Try to come up with the same thing, and after that, try to make your own chord progression. So it's Chris Lawyer from Nash Gets Audio. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button, and if you want to see more, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!